Hello everyone, welcome back to Inktober 2020. This is the final episode, episode 31, day 31 of Inktober 2020. And that means this is going to be a longer video. I hope you've all enjoyed the Inktober 2020 videos. There's been one for every single day of Inktober, recorded on the same day that is stated on each video. Today is Halloween Day. And any ne'er-do-wells from the future, I pray that the future is filled with candy, gold, and lots of smiles. Today's prompt is crawl, and I'm just keeping it simple. Just made an original character, this sort of spider lady with a little spooter on her shoulder. Now then, we're going to continue answering many more questions like I have been doing over the past few Inktober videos. And let's finish this strong, everyone. So let's see what questions we're going to answer now. Okay, we're starting off with a rather intense question. The question is, what makes you angry? Things that make me angry. I'm a rather tall person and I tend to take larger steps. So when I'm in a crowded area and people are walking slow, that really irritates me. I hate the Wilhelm scream. I hate the Howie scream. It takes me out of the movie. I've spoken about this before. And I also don't like when people lie to themselves. I appreciate anybody who's honest and knows exactly what kind of person they are. Powering through to the next question. What research do you do? What research do I do? That's a bit odd. When in doubt, I just apply this to any art-related topics on my behalf. Most of the research I do comes in practice form. This includes a lot of YouTube videos, or if it's something stylized that I'm trying to mimic, then it's just doing research on various forms of artwork on a single artist. And there's also the more educational portion of that, which tends to relate to art history and old art techniques. Next question. What superpower would you have and why? That's a good one. So my default has always been flight, being able to fly, and not like a bird. I want the pure just Superman flying ability. Plain and simple, I want to be able to think, okay, it's time to fly, and I start hovering and have full control over it. Yeah, there are many more convenient ways to travel, but there's something about flight that, to me, feels so free. I know super speed has got to be up there as well. Teleportation is a really good one. Had a conversation with someone not too long ago about this. But another implementation of flight could be found in maybe some sort of psychic ability. Maybe telekinesis. You could make yourself hover. You could float yourself and make yourself fly that way. So I'll probably have to say some sort of psychic power or just flight. Name something you love and why. I really like video games. I really like old video games. It's sometimes seen down upon as not an efficient use of your time. Yet a lot of the people that tend to say these things also tend to spend hours upon hours either watching TV shows or movies. So a video game to me seems way more interactive than that. And if they think that there's a lack in storytelling, there's as much of a lack of storytelling in video games as there are in movies. Just how there's shitty movies, there's shitty video games. And some of the greatest lessons I've learned have been from video games. And I would argue that when you follow a character or you control a character in a video game, it has more of an impact when something happens to them than it does in a movie. It honestly varies so much. So next question. Name something you don't love and why. One of the huge things I don't like has to be monotonous work. I've had jobs where it's just been data entry. There was a time where for a week at one of my old jobs I had to do data entry, and it was the most boring thing. Sure, I could listen to podcasts or anything on my phone, but just this repetitive, endless void of a task. I was just not built for that. It was hell. It's not that it's the worst thing in the world. It just felt like I was never really accomplishing anything. It was another form of torture, as they say. So, monotonous things, not for me. Next question. What is your dream project? You know, my dream project used to be an animated short around maybe episode length of 20 to 30 minutes. I wanted to be an animator growing up. That's kind of gone by the wayside now. And I wouldn't really say I have a dream project anymore. I'd like to have my own studio at some point. That'd be great. Maybe work in concept and illustrations for some sort of other grand collaborative project. Okay, here's another question. We have, how do you seek opportunities? So this is something I really used to struggle with because I was more quiet in the past and I didn't like to reach out to others. I thought that any success had to be done all alone and only all alone. And I've found that not to be the case. A lot more opportunities have shown up because I've spoken or have interacted with a community. So while yes, your work is important, if you're the greatest artist in the world and you're not putting your work out there and you're not seeking to reach out to anybody for people to know who you are, then you're not really going to advance. Opportunities are not going to show themselves to you if you don't present yourself for the opportunities to even be shown. And I understand sometimes it's overwhelming. There's a lot that you don't know, especially when starting off. You don't know where you're supposed to go. How do you even find a community? What's the right community? Do you just do trial and error? And I wish I had a better answer for that. I would say if you're looking for a community, just gravitate towards the things you really like. That way you take away another form of stress from your shoulders. If you're at least doing research on a community, at least you're looking at stuff that you like to look at. Sometimes you have to go with what's trending. Sometimes you have to go the popular route. Otherwise, it's going to be a real uphill battle. And you may have a certain goal in mind, but eventually you can run out of time and opportunities if you're not taking any action. Okay, here we have another question. How do you navigate the art world? Ooh, that's a pretty good question. So, well, the biggest and most obvious way is the internet, but the internet's more of a hub. So from the internet, where do I go? I go a lot on the obvious social medias, Twitter and Instagram. Sometimes I do like checking ArtStation because there's a lot of great artists in the feature sections for those. Like true professionals. YouTube is a huge one, once again. That's how I found the AAA community. If you're in school, talk to your teacher, talk to your professors, see if there are any clubs you could join, other artists in your classes, even things like libraries or just buying books in general opens the art world more for you. I didn't know anything about Richard Williams until I bought the Animator Survival Kit. And then that's when I found out more about him. Obviously his infamous work of Who Framed Roger Rabbit and the unfortunate conclusion to The Thief and the Cobbler, which I highly recommend you watch the original Richard Williams cut without any dialogue that was added after the fact. It's greatly animated, and it was unfortunate what happened. And although I will say that I have a softer spot for Aladdin, the artistry in The Thief and the Cobbler is very obvious. Okay, so we have the next question here. How do you price your work? Yeah, this is a really tough question that I'm still trying to figure out myself. So originally what I did was I did research by just looking at what other people were pricing their work. It's a pretty obvious route to take. And I decided to go on a cheaper route when I first started. Once I started to get more commissions, I started to see that the time investment for each commission was not worth what I was charging. And that's when I stopped underselling myself. And I upped the price. I've also kind of narrowed down options. I used to have, when it first started, it was like, okay, you can have a sketch, you can have just the line work, you can have just a sketch with torso up, that's a certain price. So I just had like prices everywhere. Like, oh, it's an extra $5 if you want it like this, this, and this. So now it's literally 2 or 3 options. That way people can see it, they know exactly what they're getting. I don't want anybody to be hesitant about what it is they're going to receive. And also, I got to a point where I didn't have enough time to catch up on everybody's commissions. And even though I was getting more customers than I am now, I was also charging a lot less, but just having less time. You see what I'm saying? Whereas now, because I charge more, I have more time in my day. Because I have fewer commissions to work on, and I feel like I'm getting compensated fairly, you know? And the worst case scenario that can happen is that it's not working out and you just charge less. See where it goes. Even if you go super cheap, start making some cool deals, have some raffles, just kind of get the people in the door. Once the people are in the door, don't screw them over. Don't try to be like this shyster of a salesman. Be honest with them. And they'll recognize that and they'll come back. Okay, this is going to be the last and final question relating to art. Which current art world trends are you following? You know, I don't really follow those types of trends, but I will say that the closest thing that I'm doing is comics that I'm going to be uploading digitally, because that's still a huge boom right now, especially with webtoons and all. Everyone having phones, being able to read it on the go. This is another golden age of comics, and it's easier to enter the industry more than ever. And you don't have to be doing it professionally under a company whatsoever to get your artwork out there. More specifically, when there's a trend that falls in line with something you love to do, that is your opportunity to take that jump and really take advantage and enjoy the trend that you're going to be a part of. I know trend it's a really bad name, but some people really like to avoid trendy stuff just for the sake of trying to be different. And different is great, but you don't want to shoot yourself in the foot or miss a great opportunity. Like we were talking about before, if this is an opportunity that's presenting itself and you know that you would do good in it, then I say absolutely take that leap. Alright everyone, this has been the end of Inktober 2020. We now have a complete Inktober playlist, 31 videos with the exception of this finale. They're each around 6 to 7 minutes long. Once again, don't forget to like the video, share this video, share the playlist if you've enjoyed it, subscribe, leave a comment on what you thought of October 2020 and all of the drawings that came with it. If you participated in Inktober as well, no matter what year this is, I hope you enjoyed your journey as well. I'll be going back to doing a lot of digital artwork, and you can see all of that on my Twitter and Instagram, all in the description below, or looking up Lame Vision. My name is Chris. I hope you all enjoy your Halloween day, and I'll see you all in the next video. Have a great rest of your day, and happy Halloween. Bye.